And with Andy Cole cup-tied, it's needs must that brings back Mark Hughes so soon. Roy Keane returns from suspension. Paul Ince was sent home with flu after training on Thursday, but an overnight recovery, which even surprised Alex Ferguson, means he plays. Now then, Trevor, how will they play?
Well, I think we know how much United like to line up there. They want to use the width, 4-4-2 there. McClare, of course, will be probably just behind Mark Hughes. A bit of a gamble, I suppose, playing Hughes without a full first-team fixture. But out wide, I think Ryan Giggs is the one that I'm going to keep an eye on, because I think he's definitely getting close to his best form again.
Now, Leeds have two players suspended, Carlton Palmer and Brian Deane, and I know Howard Wilkinson's concerned that they may lose some of their height advantage on set plays because of that, but his message is, let's have a go at them. So he's picked on paper what looks, as you said, a bold attacking team. Rodney Wallace is in the starting lineup. That's only the second time in 13 games. And Noel Whelan is also recalled, despite going to hospital on Friday for an X-ray on an injured foot. But can you work out with all those attackers, Trevor, exactly how they're going to line up?
Probably not. I mean, we've put them into a 4-4-2, but if you look at the attacking six players, they all love going forward. I'm not too sure who's going to be the ones chasing back, though. I assume McAllister and Speed will have to be conscious of their defensive duties, but it doesn't look to me as if it's a cautious approach anyway.
Oh, and it's came off a defender. I think both Whelan and Speed were in there defending, and it's another chance here. It's a corner to Manchester United. Yes, it's Noel Whelan there defending, and a boisterous start by the cup holders. Giggs will take the corner. Pallister's there again. That's Steve Bruce! Goodness, what a start! It's the captain. And in the second minute, Manchester United have taken the lead, and the 34-year-old skipper, the man who lifted the FA Cup last season, Steve Bruce, with a header which is too powerful for Lukic.
Well, it's bad marking. Look at Phil Masing, is the 126 with him, lets him get a free header, a yard or two in front of him. Very soft goal, terrible stage of the match to concede it. But look, it's a clear jump. Masinga doesn't get off the ground, and really no chance for Lukic.
Well, it's an irony, that goal, for a reason I'll tell you in a moment. This is Keane. Away to the left is McClare. There goes Giggs, who supplied the corner. And this is Kanchelskis. Oh, and Hughes is there. Well, John Lukic's kick shows how rattled Leeds are. This is it. A threat here. Oh, well, it's edgy defending, to say the least. Gary Speed. Mark Hughes is hanging back from the others on the far side of the 6-yard box. Oh, and another one, is it? It is! Brian McClare! Well, would you believe this? 2 goals from corners. And Brian McClare gets the second one. And Alex Ferguson could never have dreamed of a start like this. It's been swung in by Giggs, the flick on, McClare gets the header, and it's 2-0.
But look at the marking again, the near post header flicked on. You've got to pick up in there. Look, Brian McClare totally unmarked, surrounded by Leeds defenders, but they're 4 or 5 yards away from him.
Less than 5 minutes gone. Manchester United 2, Leeds United 0. Little Wallace coming in at the back with Keane, corner again. Kanchelskis coming in behind Dorigo. And as you can see, they're rather fired up. And Leeds will be shuddering, it's another corner. Well, if things go in threes, watch out now. In fact, Ryan Giggs is moving across. Yes, they're leaving it to him.
A lot of arms pointing and making sure you're picking up here. Let's see if they do on this occasion from the Leeds United defence.
McAllister, hands on hips, crouched. Bruce just behind him. Keane further over. Ince coming in. Lukic having to punch away from the crowd. Free kick.
From the outside down the right, a low cross, and just trying to get his stud length to it. And at the other end, Leeds.
It's 3 against 3. Hughes and Giggs the other two. Hughes comes right, Giggs goes left. Not quite the ball he wanted, but he still gets onto it. And neither's that the ball for Kanchelskis. Hughes couldn't get past Pemberton. But he's behind him. Kanchelskis goes inside. Giggs again. Masinga's touch is a good one to McAllister. He's got David White outside him. Gary Kelly joins the attack. White's cross, and turned away from Wallace by Irwin. Poor finish. And Schmeichel is able to pick out, well, McLean wasn't quite. Dorigo covering, and the ball may already have been out there. The linesman flat for a goal kick. And I think that's what's going to be given. Clare left, Hughes centre, Kanchelskis right. Still Giggs. Tony Yeboah, about whom we've heard so much. Now then, it looks like Wallace and Masinga off. So Yeboah, 21, goes to play up front, obviously. I presume with Whelan. And Nigel Worthington, who can play at full-back, more likely to be in midfield, I would think, Trevor. Lynch had to be, actually. David Weatherall. This is Whelan now. McAllister wanted it played early through the centre. Didn't come. Dorigo. Speed. Whelan. So Leeds looking for the sort of start to the second half that Manchester United had to the first. Worthington. Yeboah's in the centre. There he is with the header.
Could have been a dream introduction into the game. That was a good skimming header. Just flicked it towards that near post. And they zipped off the surface, and I think Schmeichel did very well here. Nasty one, look, just in front of him there. Could easily have squeezed into the goal.
Well, maybe the arrival of Yeboah has given those Leeds fans new hope. They're certainly making themselves heard. That's Weatherall. All back but Kanchelskis for Manchester United there. Mark Hughes quickly out though, and he's got Ryan Giggs making a run through the inside left position. Space over on the far side for McClare. Now it's Giggs. Big gap in the middle of the field because that attack built up so quickly. Irwin. Now then, somebody's hurt.
Yeah, Roy Keane got a bad knock on the side of the head when that cross came in at the other end. I think it's David Weatherall it was who came in quite late just on the header, and I think he probably, as the ball went on his follow-through, just caught the side of Roy Keane's head. So rather than take any chances these days, players quite often just knock it off.
And at the same time, David Weatherall needs attention. The player who I think was in collision with Keane, as you said. They both got a bang there on that last challenge.
Yeah, this is the cross, as you say. So that towards Yeboah, a skimming cross. I mean, it could easily, with the goalkeeper on this sort of surface, squeeze into the near post. I mean, that gives him a bit of confidence. And when you think they've invested just over £3 million in him, it's not often that you bide your time before introducing him. You really like to play him, get him into the side. So I think at this stage of this season, it was important to introduce him for 45 minutes. Here at the far post, you see David Weatherall coming in late, heads it and look right on the side of Roy Keane's head.
A nasty one, but I think they're both all right.
Hasn't got much hair to cushion the blow there, has he, Roy Keane?
Well, he'll hear that you've said that. Anyway, the situation remains the same, but we wonder whether the Leeds substitutions will change the shape of what's to come. Long kick from Schmeichel. That was Weatherall tested straight away in the air. Now Yeboah. McAllister. Now White, who's still operating on the right-hand side. It's a challenge by Lee Sharp, which is a foul. Sharp pressed into service at fullback again. The news of Paul Parker, by the way, who I think many people may have even not forgotten, but he's certainly not played for a long time. He's not going to be back till the middle of March, I'm told. Here comes speed. And that's another long kick by Schmeichel. Nearly knocked Hughes over, but the control was instant. And looking to his left, he sees Giggs. Keane. McClare. No. Giggs. McClare again. Giggs again. Now Ince. White on Ince. I think Paul Ince has really surprised his manager in being out there today. The doctor was by his bedside for the last 2 days. I thought he had a flu virus, but he's very much in the thick of it. And this free kick might be an invitation. Who, Trevor? Dennis Irwin?
Yeah, I would have thought this side, it certainly favours a right footer. One or two looking there. Kanchelski's also quite a good free kick take, but I think Dennis Irwin, making sure he gets to 10 yards, suggests that he fancies this from this range.
It's indirect. It's Kanchelskis. Oh, he's at the bar! And the rebound went to Keane.
Strike. I mean, a fingertip just gets it onto the crossbar. That was heading into the top corner. And a vital save for Leeds. A third goal at this stage, and it would have been good night. But a superb strike. Just gets his fingertips, as you can see, onto the crossbar.
And he has! It's Yeboah! It's Tony Yeboah! Oh! 7 minutes in to his first FA Cup tie. The Ghanaian has given Leeds renewed hope.
Well, great crossfield ball, David. Actually, Yeboah tried hard to miss it, didn't he? It just trickled over the line. I mean, that would have been some miss, but we said it could have been a vital save by John Lukic. We didn't know how quickly that would be tested and proven, because now 2-1, suddenly the noise of the Leeds supporters will tell the Old Trafford crowd they're definitely in a game here, aren't they? 2-1.
Ince goes in, Lukic punches out, Dennis Irwin heading it back, flick on, but a player lying on the 6-yard line is wet. And it was Giggs off the wall.
You did see there the difference between the first 45 minutes and what's gone since the change round, and that is the work rate of Leeds.
Man over here for Leeds. Whelan, McAllister's the man in the middle, and the challenge was by Bruce. Deemed to be fair. Giggs. And the return ball to Kanchelskis. Fabulous play that by Kanchelskis. Really unlucky that he couldn't produce something on the end of it. Mark Hughes comes back with a goal. But what a delightful cross by Kanchelskis. And a perfect header by the man that the fans didn't want to see go. This is great stuff, because there's a line of 5 defenders in there, look. But Kanchelskis just jerks the ball up almost. And Hughes, the classic header, back the way the goalkeeper's coming from. 3-1.
Well, it's wonderful power. To be running backwards and then still have the power to get beyond the goalkeeper to the far post was the classic header, wasn't it? And no wonder they didn't want him to go. And of course, but for that Newcastle injury, he might well have been already gone.
Well, he might. But it's 3-1 now, more daylight for the holders, but here's Nigel Worthington for Leeds, looking for White. You just don't know in this game. What you do now is that Kanchelskis and Hughes produced there a moment to remember, which even by Manchester United standards the manager would see as a fine goal and maybe a vital one. Good, no, he's offside. Makes the point, that cross, Trevor, that you don't have to beat a defender to get a cross in. I mean, there were 4 of them standing there.
Well, he just invited him on to make the tackle, looks up and drifts it. Look how he pulls away from Weatherall, knows John Lukic is moving back towards him, and then so heads it in the different direction, and he can't adjust, and no chance of...
Still there! It's going to come to Ince! I think it was. Well, Yeboah's involved in this again. First off, Schmeichel's a bit late with the punch, speed shot, and Ince. Now the corner. Weatherall's there. And a couple of players falling out. The first sign of temper. Referee's seen it. It was Brian. Well, he did score in the cup against Wrexham, but you have to go back to August. Good ball to Kanchelskis. Hughes. Pemberton. Irwin got it half back there. McAllister. Here's Tony Yeboah. The man making the run is Dorigo. Speed. McAllister. Getting himself room. Holds his head in frustration. Should have been 4-1 really. This is Yeboah for Leeds. It should have been all over there. But John Lukic again gets some credit. Determined running by Dorigo. Yeboah out left. In the middle is Whelan. Yeboah takes on Irwin. Corner. Now it'll be very interesting. But Kanchelskis goes ahead of him. There's Kanchelskis. Again Lukic a hero. Still not. Oh, and Kanchelskis gets right underneath it. Kills it. This is Ince. Keane. Wow. That's a parting shot. The point yesterday at Wolverhampton that for fans it's difficult to know how long a match is going to go on these days because referees have their own version of stoppage time, but that's it. Manchester United are into the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. The holders go through. Alex Ferguson's team off to a flying start, and it was just too much for Leeds to peg back. Mark Hughes got the decisive goal on 72 minutes, returning to the action after Tony Yeboah had put Leeds back in with some sort of fighting chance early in the second half. But the man of the match, as far as Trevor Brooking is concerned, and I think pretty unanimous, another unselfish performance from the unsung Brian McClair. The final score at Old Trafford before a crowd of around 43,000. Manchester